Hello and welcome to Doing Business in Rwanda with me, Michael Mjisha. Now, on this particular episode, we intend to look at how much Rwanda has moved forward with motorsport in perspective. Again, we are here for the Rwanda Mountain Gorilla Rally. That is the 6th event that adds up to the Africa Rally Championship. We're not only here for the fun, but we intend to look at how much the business is going on for the drivers. This is Doing Business in Rwanda.
Motorsport is one of the most popular sports in the world that attracts large crowds of speed and adrenaline fans. The sport started in France in the late 1800s, with George Bouton naturally winning since he was the only one racing. It was thereby introduced across the world. Drivers believe one of the pillars upholding the game is passion rather than money.
It's a passion. It's like all sports. It's a passion. First of all, it's a passion. For me, it's a passion. Since I was a kid of 10 years old, I wanted to do rally. I was passionate. I was going on the road seeing the rally. The first day I could do it, I did it.
It depends on what you feel in yourself. First of all, I like racing, and you have to manage for your own income, like save something for rallies, save something for this and this. So for me, when I'm home, when I think about this, I have to, first of all, if I get salary, I have to save at least 20% for the rally. And especially this one is for Africa, the international, so it's quite expensive here, but we try to manage it.
It's an elite sport because you need money to do the sport. You do the sport you can afford. If you have money to afford with a small car, you will do it with a small car. If you have the money to afford with a big car, you will do it with a big car. But you have motorsport everywhere in the world.
Rallying has grown as a business over the years. For manufacturers like Mercedes-Benz, Audi and Volkswagen, they see this as one of the best ways to show off their power and display their new products. However, most racers in Africa still find it hard to get the business side of the sport unless they capitalize on rented cars.
To do rallying as a business, you don't be a driver. You don't have to be a driver. You have to be an owner of a car. The car you must have car to rent for rally, because in Europe there are many cars that are rented for rallies. People, they go and they rent the cars. They don't have their own cars. They rent the car. And you have people, they do business in the rally. They do business in motorsport. But it asks big investment, big capitals, because you need to have the good cars, and then you need to replace the parts. You should give to your clients good equipment. It depends. You have good guys, they have good reputation. You have other guys, they don't have good reputation. But you have people, they do business in motorsport. In Europe, definitely. They do. Yes. But not the drivers. The drivers, they are the customers, they spend the money.
Financial implications remain a key deterrent, keeping individuals away from rallying. The money that goes into maintenance is staggering.
Rallying, as you know, is obviously a very costly sport. A new car, this is the R5 category car, they go for over 200,000 euros. And basically how much you spend depends on sort of how much damage you do after the event. But you could probably quantify maybe 10,000 euros for an event as an average.
Well, for now I'm in class 2 with drive. It's quite not that much expensive, but about maintenance and everything and mechanic teams, we have to pay it can cost you around 5,000 to 6,000 USD.
The sport is, yes, to get the parts, to get the cars, to get everything here. When you need, you may have mechanics in Rwanda, but when you need specialist mechanics to regulate your computer, ECU, whatever, you need someone to come from outside. Then it becomes expensive. It can be expensive, yes.
Rwanda Automobile President Christian Gakwaya argues that motorsport, just like any other sector, needs time to grow and urges drivers to start small.
It's not a sport for rich people. That's about mindset. It's a sport for everyone. The reason why people have been thinking about like perceiving motorsport as a sport of rich people is because we didn't have any entry level. People wanted to start from the top, which can't happen. Any sector, any sport, you have to start from the grassroots. So if you start from the grassroots and you develop yourself, being your talents and your abilities of maneuvering a car, then you grow in motorsport.
Safi kabisa. Safi.
The Fédération Internationale des Automobiles introduced regulations to reduce the number of accidents that may happen due to drivers and co-drivers' mistakes, or even the race car suffering a technical failure on the track.
You know, the real issue maybe we have in our events is we are still running on open roads, so safety may be a concern. But as you know, I think the WRC rally events around the world, they're run on closed roads, and they're basically 100% closed off.
We are protected. We have roll cages, we have suits, anti-fire suits, we have helmets, we have a lot of things. We are protected, but your accident may always happen, like in all sports.
At the moment, Africa has one big rally, and that is the Africa Rally Championship. However, most of the stages that build to the final event and other competitions on the continent are still privately financed by the drivers and their teams.
So you have to fund yourself, or you have to go out and look for your own sponsorship, and sort of the organizers don't really assist you with that as such. Rallying in this part of the world doesn't have such a big following. I think from maybe the East African region, Uganda probably has the biggest following for motorsport, but other than that, it's not really not like for football or anything like that. So if the federation could assist with sponsorship, it could help the sport a lot.
With sponsors on board, we got so many drivers. Yeah, you saw all those the cars at the back, the two-wheel drive cars. Some of them have been the Jua Kali, as we call it. They are basic cars, and these are drivers who got a heart, but don't have the machine to use to achieve what they want, their dream. But if they're given money, the sky's the limit, trust me. We got good drivers up in this business.
Once the private sector come in, so many people will be participating. Like the sponsorship will be bigger, which will be very easier for people to participate in. Even me, I would like to become a driver, but I cannot afford it. I cannot afford it at all. Yeah, so the private sector is very much needed. Banks, petrol stations, corporate companies, they come and sponsor people. The event will be bigger than this. But this year's, it's very big.
We have Bank of Kigali as our main sponsor, and they're happy, and we're expecting them maybe to come back next year. The more sponsors we get, the higher we go in terms of having a quality event and a better event.
The weather is shifting, it's getting a little rainy out here, but people are still here and business is at the boom as the rally goes on.
We made a lot of money today selling meat and beers. The demand from the crowds was very high that I don't have anything left. I bought 10 goats, roasted them all, and in less than an hour, I had nothing left to sell. We made a lot of profit from the rally. All the meat is done.
There are more attendance more than past 2 years, which was fantastic. We had another cow called Skuda, whatever, I don't know the name. It's kind of harder to me. We have Evo 10, we have these guys from Kenya and Burundi. They did fantastic job, which was perfect, more than like last year, you know, which was good, well organized, different stages, which was good, sincerely speaking, yeah.
Everybody's out here and it's a day full of anticipation. The cars are just fast as crazy with over horsepowers of around 845 horsepowers. And today everyone is asking one question: who's taking home their tournament?
Well, we've raced a few cars. It's been a learning process. Manville has matured as a driver. He started out in a Subaru. We didn't have you know, as you start out, you're young. The luck is limited. You're growing. Then we moved up to the Ford Fiesta. We did 2 Subarus, then moved up to the Ford Fiesta. We didn't do well with the Ford Fiesta. We competed well. We were always in the top 10, but Skoda's done it for us. Skoda is the new car on an African circuit. It's actually they're only one of the 2 Skodas, because the other one is run by one of our sister groupings, Cabras Racing. We team with them. It's a Kenyan racing team as well. So we got the 2 Skodas in East Africa. This is one of them. And the Skoda's delivered. It's a reliable car, it's a good car, it's a quick car, and it's performed for him and the team as well. So we're happy with it.
People who are here to see that car. And people are like, my God, this car runs like a missile. So we need more cars like those ones. We need more professionals like those ones, so that even 10,000 people, 20,000 people can attend for the competition, by the way, yeah.
I can't win because this first car is too strong. I know nobody can beat that car unless it will break. But maybe second.
To the competitors, other drivers who are not driving the class which is called R5, they have to upgrade. That's the summary of it. So they have to upgrade, because if you see the time difference he's putting between him and the following car, you can't believe it. So I think it was the first time to have a car like this one in Rwanda. So we are happy, and the guy managed to finish, and now he's among the top ranked in Africa. They are heading to Zambia the last week of October, where we're going to know the champion of 2017.
As the day came to an end, the drivers shared some of the reactions, experiences, and anticipations moving forward.
I couldn't imagine to beat this guy on the front, and except he would have a problem and then he would retire or whatever. But you can't beat him. It's another story. It's another car. It's another category. So coming second after him, it's like to be first for me. I want to go to Zambia. I did third in Uganda. I was second in Rwanda. Maybe I'll be first in Zambia.
Overall, the rally was good and we enjoyed ourselves and we won the rally. I think we may have won the championship, so maybe next year we might take part in the ARC again. So maybe we'll try and see if we can win again.
For a nascent sport, Rwanda Automobile Club looks at grooming new drivers from a very young age with the introduction of go-karts.
We are introducing the go-karts, the karting, very soon. So we'll be developing kids from 8 years. We are going to have 2 categories, 8 to 12, 12 to 14. So we believe maybe in the next 1 or 2 years we're going to have champions, Rwandan champions from the academy.
And that's pretty much where we leave it for this episode of Doing Business in Rwanda, where we were looking at how much motorsport has grown in the country, both as a game and as a business. But the conversation were more around at how to nurture young talent and more drivers in the country, but also calling out on the private sector to do more business in the motorsport. That's where we leave it for this episode of Doing Business in Rwanda. Now, if you have any feedback, send us an email to dbir@abn360.com or tweet us at dbirwanda. My name is Michael Mjisha from the entire Doing Business in Rwanda team. Thank you very much for watching.